Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here, coming back at you with another video. Okay, so this one's not as crazy as my last couple, but nevertheless, this is a must-see video. This is going to cover brake cables, throttle cables, pretty much. So, some of these cables right here can range anywhere between $5 and $200. For instance, this big cable right here is $175. This cable right here is $42. I don't know. So anyway, these cables have been on the bike for a very, very long time. And I'm going to show you guys a couple things that I do to inspect cables and to dress them up. Okay? So first thing I do is check the condition of them. Okay? So when you're looking at a cable, you're going to look for fraying. Okay, you can see the rust right here. See the rust? And then there's fraying. So there's a little bit of that. So I try to bend them back if I can. And then you'll notice that, I don't know if you can see it or not in the camera, but this is a little warped. Okay, the threads right here, this has been over-tightened a few times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little hammer right here. And I'm going to bang on the wood. Not going to bang on metal, but bang on wood. And I'm going to see if I can straighten it up a bit. Okay, so let's see if I can get you guys to see what I'm doing here. Okay, you guys right in that realm right there. So I get the cable laid out. I'm going to put it up where the high point is facing up. Just to make sure you guys can see this. Alright, barely. So let's move it back so you guys can see it. Okay. And I got the high point of it sticking up. So I'm going to use the hammer. Drop it down. Do the same thing on the other side to where it's high. You're not going to get it dead on. If you do, you're pretty lucky. Let's see, a little higher right there. Okay. Now, I got it so there's a little bit of a wave in it, but nothing too dramatic. Okay? Mind you, there is no, there's really no way to really get that 100% straight. And I'm going to check the other end. Let me shrink you guys back down here for a second. Slide it out and check this end, see if there's any fraying. Be careful, you get one of these slivers in your finger, it's going to hurt like a son of a gun. This cable also looks good. Alright, so then I'm going to check the jacket. This is the jacket right here, this black piece. Okay? So I'm going to check it for cracks. See how there's like a crack right there? That's where water gets in. Water gets in there and in here. I'm going to go right down the whole entire thing and check it. There's a little bit of scuffing, but that's alright. I can deal with the scuffing. Okay, so there's only one little crack up in the front there. Nothing dramatic. This one right here has got electrical tape on it. Because it's got a crack. A pretty good size one. Is that insulation? No, that's an insulation jacket. Okay, that's going to slide up and down. So I'm going to slide it forward, check it, make sure. Nope, we're good. We're good. They put that on there for a rubbing point. So that's good. Okay, so this one right here, this jacket has a couple cracks. One crack right there. Where water can get in. And that's pretty much it for that. Okay, so we got cracking on the top part. And also definitely check it for fraying and all that. Fraying means that the strands stick out. Okay, you don't want that. So, first thing I'm going to do is address the cracking part. Okay, I'll show you how I address the cracking part. I take a couple of pieces of heat shrink tube. If you can get them over, that's great. Of course, the ones I got were too small. But what I would do is I'd slide them over and heat shrink them. I gotta get bigger tubes. I have some upstairs. I'm not going up and get them, but you guys get the idea. So I would slide it over, and then I would use a heat gun and shrink them, or you can use a lighter and shrink them over it. I'll do that after. I got some upstairs. I want to go to the bottom part. I think, no, not with that bank there. Nope. Okay. All right. So, if you have cracking, you can use electrical tape too, but the heat shrink looks a lot better and it lasts a lot longer. Okay, so there's that part of it. That part of the mess. So, you're checking for cracking on your sleeve, on the jacket. You're checking for fraying on both ends, and you're straightening out the threaded area with a mallet. Do not use a hammer. Use a mallet with a soft and a hard end on it, okay? Rubber mallets don't work either. Alright, so a couple things you're going to want to do is you're going to take the nuts from both ends. These are the adjusted nuts, the zincs. Okay, you're going to stick them in a vise. See if I'm talented enough to get both of them in there. I am so lucky to be able to be talented enough to do that. And then I'm going to use a tap. Now I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to tell you what the tap is on these, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm given specifications for these. This is going to cover many, many bikes. But I can tell you this. If you get a thread chaser, not a chaser, but a tap set, they come with this little gauge right here. And you can match up your threads. The reason why I'm not giving you the specification is because if I give you the specification and then you tap it to what I give you and your bike takes something different, you're going to mess it all up. So this right here comes in the tap set and tells you what the threads are. Okay? So, not going to over tighten this clamp because these are zinc. They'll crack and bend easy. Okay? I'm using the proper tap. The tapping tool, and all I'm doing is thread chasing. I'm not retapping. Oh, did that one wrong. There we go. Okay. These threads are getting beat up because the what do you call it there? They've been over tightened. They've been whacked. They got forced off. So right now I'm just retapping them. I'm re-putting threads back into them. You know what, I'm going to do this one at a time, because I have a feeling this is going to be a pain in the neck. We're going to just do one at a time. Okay. You can spray this down with WD-40 or an oil if you want. But it's like I said, it's a little aluminum. It doesn't even get hot doing it, so I'm just cranking them right in there. Show you guys what I'm doing, if you can see that tap. Working it back and forth until it goes all the way through the bottom. And then some. Basically, I'm just cleaning up the threads and recutting. These are the nuts that are on the cable, at the end of the cable. Okay. And this is a long nut too. It goes all the way in. So make sure you go all the way through the other side. You'll know when you throw because the tap will just do what it just did. See. And then you'll be able to take it off by hand if you want. Okay, so let's see here. That's one nut down, all tapped out. Now it's got a nice fresh set of threads. Doesn't even matter which way you do these. You can go backwards, forward, it doesn't matter. Okay. Let's tap in here though too. Always do them together too, that way you don't forget one. Just do them up. Once you get these all prepped up, you're halfway done. Okay, so you go right up to the bottom. If you feel a snag, you can just go back and forth with it. Do not put this in a drill. It's just not worth it. Do it by hand. You can do aluminum in a drill like this, but it's better for the tap and you can feel it better. And that's really what it comes down to. So we're going to go by feel. That right there is perfect. Okay. And blow it out. Another nicely retapped jam nut, or lock nut. There's going to be a jam nut on the end, but you can see all the nice and threads. Nice and clean. Okay, so now for the next part. Alright, so let's find out which one we did. We straightened out this one right here. Okay, I'm going to pull the cable through, and we're going to clamp it onto the part right down bottom. This part right here is a little bit more tricky, because it has a, whatchamacallit there, it's got a little bit of wave to it. You can't really do nothing about that without cutting it off. You can cut a quarter inch off this, but I'm not going to. Alright, so let me find the proper die, and these are dies. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Alright, so now the next part, we are going to do, this one we're going to lubricate. Okay, so then we take our die set, and we're going to put this on, and recut threads. You'll feel someplace it'll get tight, someplace it'll get smooth. Because the reason why you're doing this is because sometimes, just sometimes, you got to hold it with a pair of pliers when you're taking off that nut right there. So I'm using my tap of my die to generate the threads. And the way I found the proper die was simple. I used this tool right here. This right here for the, it tells you what the threads are. The thread pitches. Okay. Mind you guys, I got this this tap set at Harbor Freight. It is a cheap set, but it works excellent. Look at that, huh? Okay. Nice. And that, my friends, is how you do the end of it. So what I did was I used the mallet to clean it up a bit. Okay, to straighten it. Then I used I put oil on it, tapped it, and I did the nuts. So then the nut will fit right on the end. Now mind you, when I took this off, I had to take this off with a pair of pliers. Like, I had to hold here with a pair of pliers, and I had to use a huge wrench on this thing. It wouldn't come off. Now I can put this on by hand, and I'm going to put a little nut on the end of it. Okay, and I'm going to slide this up to the end. Right there at the very end, so, you know, just a couple threads stick through. And that right there is what I'm going to use to protect the end of that. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process on the other. I'm going to go over it one more time with you guys. So this is one cable that's prepped and ready. But not 100% prepped. There's one more major part to this video I got to show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing to this one right here. I'm going to put the cable down. Get it to where it's going to go in. Okay, you guys see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Alright, this one's got a little bit of a hill to it too. This one right here is really messed up. It came up pretty good, pretty decent. Okay, you can see this one right here where I really had to hold it with a pair of pliers. See where it's all messed up right there? That's the part we're going to address. That's why I'm doing these videos, to show you guys that even though you have to use a pair of pliers and you screwed it all up, there is hope. Okay? There is hope. Alright, so this is the one with the messed up threads. What's that die I just used? This one, this one. This one right here. Okay. So we got that. We got the proper dye. Same thing with the oil. The oil is what's going to make this thing. Okay. Cut it, fill it all up with oil, all the threads, all the way down. Especially where you had it with the pair of pliers. Okay. So now we got that with the pair of pliers, and we are all set to start cutting. So what I do is I put the cap on there and see if I can get some threads by feel first. If I can. If you can, that's great. If not, it's just going to cut new ones. There's a little groove on these taps and stuff like that, and that's for the screw right there. So if you put this in like this, it'll hold it. Then you just tighten up the screw and it'll jam it right in there. And then there's a blank spot. Where are you? There's a blank spot right there, and then you see the threads? This is the downside. This goes in first. So your threads are shown up top, but not at the beginning down bottom. That's how it goes like this. And then your set screw holds it in, and then you got, there's an open part and a closed part. The closed part faces up because you're putting pressure on it. A little bit of pressure. And then it'll catch the threads and we'll start to cut. Go back and forth with it. So when you're cutting, it'll get to some parts where it goes easy, and then you'll feel it just start to, you know, catch. That's when you go back. Okay? I'm doing this with one finger. I'm gonna hit the thread, the damaged part right there. There's the damaged part. See that? And now I'm going to take my time, go back and forth with it. Now it's cutting. I can feel the do-do-do-do-do part of it. I'm just going right down through, coming back up through. I want to be able to spin this thing all the way down. All the way down. Yeah, I can feel it cutting those. I can feel it cutting through the plier marks. And I'm only going to the end of where they're threaded. I'm not cutting past where it's threaded. So I still have quite a ways to go. Got another about, I don't know, about an inch. I can feel that right there. Yeah. That's the bottom. Look at that, huh? Smooth like butter. Then I'm going to pop this off. Down. You'll still be able to see some of the marking, but the threads are there. Then, same thing with the nut. Put the nut on. And you'll be able to screw it all the way down, right past the threads where it's all chopped up. Look at that, huh? And then right back up again. Okay. So now we got cable number 2 all situated there. And now I'm going to show you the part that I'm not going to be able to show you the finishing part on, and I'll show you why. Okay. So now, there's one more part to this whole entire project. First, we're going to screw this to the end, so we can have it as a protector. Okay, like that. We're going to grab the open end up top here, where it's opened up like that. We're going to pull this through, so there's a little gap on the end. Nothing dramatic. You're going to take a funnel, just like so. Nothing dramatic. You're going to wipe it off. You're going to stick this end right here into the bottom, if you can do that. If not, you might have to cut the thing open a little bit. I'm going to try going from the other way. Hold on. Yeah, I'll do that. Hold on one second. You got to get the cable into the funnel. Okay, nope. So we are going to modify this funnel real quick. I'm just going to open up the end of that. Alright, so. Alright, so now I opened up the funnel a little bit. Just took a hacksaw and I cut off just a smidge off the bottom so we can put this through like this. And you're going to put it through so about, I want to say about an inch is into the funnel, sticking up, so it looks like that. And then we're going to take some electrical tape and tape it onto it. This is the last step in doing the modification. So I'm going to go about an inch, right about there. Pulling it tight. Just like that. Sticking the funnel back through over the inch, and I am now going to tape the funnel to the cable. Alright. Okay, so now that the funnel is taped to the cable, I can now put my oil in here. This is the bottom part is going to hang into a bucket, and I'm going to leave it in there until oil comes out through the bottom here. And then I'll rotate it inside the sleeve back and forth and make sure it's all completely circulated. And then this stiff cable will be moving. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this. I don't care what you use for oil. Okay? Some people use transmission fluid. Some people use WD-40. Some even use mystery oil. It really doesn't matter what you put in here for oil as long as the cable's lubricated. This is one of those things where it's just oil is oil, and that's it. Some people even put two-stroke oil in it. It really doesn't matter. Marvel Mystery Oil is a great oil for cables. It's thin, and it will penetrate through it. I would not recommend 30 weight or a 10W 40 or something thick, or 1520. But if you have a thin oil that you could put in here, I would definitely use a thin oil. I personally use the what do you call it? The Marvel Mystery Oil. It penetrates well. Some even use kerosene. You can use kerosene to do it too. So that, my friends, is how you do cables. And basically, you're going to hang this up someplace really high, and then have a bucket underneath the other end of it, and then you're going to do each cable like that. And I normally fill up the funnel a couple times just to make sure I get complete flow through the cable. Also, too, I wanted to talk to you guys about this, too. This funnel right here, I got this at the dollar store. Paid $1. You know, and you can keep it for maintenance for doing this for later on. Or if you do as many bikes as I do. So, typically, I lose my funnel, and then I have to keep going buying one. But that's basically how I do them. And I figured I'd share it with you guys on how to do cables. Cable maintenance. So this is going to be a cable maintenance video, and that's how it came out. Look at that, guys. It looks pretty good, huh? So, nothing dramatic, and I took this expensive cable and was able to rework it. You can do this on throttle cables, clutch cables, brake cables, all kinds of cables. And in fact, you can even take the speedometer cable and do it that way too. But speedometer cables are easy because the inner part slides out. Same thing with tachometers. Alright, guys. Well, that's what I got for you for today. Oh, let's do a quick update on you guys real quick. I'll do a quick update. Okay, so let's do a quick update on this right here. So this is the KV75 motor I was dialing in. I got it all dialed in. There are 2 timing marks on this motor. This top one right here, which mates up with the mark inside of here for doing your timing, your points. And then there is one down here. And this is this one right here and this one right here. Let's see if I can... Okay, that's where it goes, right there like that. Don't pay attention to this one. There's that timing mark right there. And on the condenser, there is a mark down here that you would time it with. But we took the condenser out. This position right here, according to your book, has to line up with the condenser. And that right there is for your setting your timing. They're in the exact same spots, guys. Okay, so keep that in mind and when you're timing it. So I got this thing all zeroed in. So if you do this modification and you take off your condenser, it doesn't matter because the timing mark up top here is the same. It's going to read up there at the same point it would read down there. So I got it all dialed in, and it's wicked cold out right now. It's only 6 degrees. So I'm not doing a first start video on this yet. Or I should say a re-first start video. But that will be coming up really, really soon. Right now I'm just doing the cables on the KV75, and I figured I'd do an update on that and show you guys how to do the cables. So, real easy to do, guys. Real easy to do. And like I always tell everybody, go back. Look at the video again and again and again as many times as you need to. You know, if you skip something. I got to heat shrink those tubes, and then I can put the oil in it and get that thing lubed up. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to all you new subscribers. Thank you very much. Welcome. And as always, if there's anything I can help you guys with as a project, by all means, please send me the information, and we'll get a video out. We'll do something, you know. I might be able to talk with you back and forth and figure out what your problem is, or direct you to an older video that I have that might have the same situation you're going through. Either way, I'm a good support, and I try to help everybody out. So, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.